And I had my phone set so I could see if it was there.
I've got my iPad right here too. We're live.
We're good? How come I can't see that on my, oh, because I got to go back to Zoom, right? Okay.
Because we're live, but I'm not seeing us pop up here.
It says we're live and we've got.
Oh, here we are. Here we are, and we have a few people on. Hello, everybody. We're just going to make sure that we are in the right place. Give us a couple moments. Say hello while you're waiting for us. Just make a comment as you're watching. I'm going to go in and probably need to turn it down here. I see we've got a few people on. So yeah, be sure to let us know where you are watching from. Oh, we've got hello, Janine and Carmen, Bonnie, Pam, Judy. I'm going to try and go through them. I think we're all going to try it, Daralee. We're all trying to watch comments. So my comments are over here. So I'm not ignoring everybody. They're just over here. So in case I'm looking away. So welcome, everybody. Hi, Rhonda. Hello, Nancy. Welcome, welcome. This is great. We've got lots of people coming on. I'm not ignoring everybody. So we are, hello, Sharon. So this is perfect. Karen, hello. We're just over here, so. And Patty, we got folks all over. We are an international group tonight and tomorrow as well, everybody, for the first time. So that's great. Hello, Marilyn, you. Chilly on away. Yeah, it is chilly everywhere, I think. Hello, Liddy, Kathy, Catherine. Is it warmer out in BC? Got Vancouver Island. I'll bet it's got to be warmer out there, Kathy. Hello, Peggy. I'm glad that you're here and made it.
Yes.
Judy.
Carmen,
Perfect.
Carmen, Kelly, Judy, Betty.
Hello, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
B, Duke. Okay. We'll just, we've got everybody coming on. I think maybe we'll just sort of say hi. So while we have everybody come on, just as I said, just as you come on, let us know where you're watching from. Say hello to all of us. And we're going to try and comment a little bit to you. For the most part, we are going to just be chattering tonight, but we do want you to interact with us as well, asking us some questions. And I'm going to be our moderator. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Joanne Rogers. And I'm a Stamping Up demonstrator, and I am in just outside of Black Falls, outside of Red Deer, Alberta. And we are going to do a full set of intros a little bit later, but my two cohorts are Marilyn Wagner, and Marilyn is our techie, and Lillian Kemp, both from Spruce Grove. But as I said, we will all give you a little intro and tell you a little bit about ourselves a little bit later. So once again, welcome. I'm seeing we're getting a few more people on. Hello, Carol and Kathleen and Debbie, Betty. So tonight is just getting to know, a very casual night, getting to know you. Us getting to know you, you getting to know us, and also a little bit of an overview of what our day is going to be like. We're excited. This is our third stamping staycation actually. And we've been planning this one. It seems like we've been planning for months and months and months, and it has been months, but we are really excited to see it come to be. And we are really thrilled that we have so many of you here to join us. So how we decided to do something like this last spring when we had COVID hit, Marilyn and Lillian and I sort of started chatting about how we might be able to do something virtually. And we sort of piggybacked on some really, really well-known and very popular demonstrators in the States who do a virtual event just like this. But we've added our own personal touches and we've modified it a bit to work for us. And so this is the third one. So far it seems to be going well. And we are really excited because this time we have the most that we've ever had. And we have, out of those of you who are watching, we have 25 new people who have never been to a stamping staycation before. And that's almost half. So we are excited about that thank you for joining us and giving us a shot. I think you are going to be excited and really pleased with your day. We sure hope so anyway. And if you're new, welcome. Ask questions, get involved, talk to other people through the comments, talk back and forth to us through the comments as well through Facebook. And we decided to do through Facebook because it is a pretty good vehicle to do something like this. So we are all fairly comfortable. Some of us having gotten comfortable just in the last year doing Facebook Lives. Doesn't mean that we don't have issues or problems, and we are certainly going to try and work through any technical problems that we have. Any of you
Yeah.
who are with me or watched my video 2 weeks ago know that it was not a clean and easy exercise. So we're expecting this to go much more smooth. So let me see. I've got some notes. I'm going to refer back to those a couple times tonight. So this event is all about you. It's not about us. It's all about you. And what we want to do is have you use what you have at home. So that's why we have it slated so that you actually don't stamp with us, except for one time. And Lillian's going to tell you about that. So what you're going to do during the day is you're going to watch us mostly, and then we're going to give you everything that you need, all the instructions, any templates, all the supplies and measurements that you're going to need so you can make them yourself. So in a nutshell, that's what your day is going to be like tomorrow. But we are going to talk a little bit more about that throughout the evening. And just a warning that at the end of the day tomorrow, you might go away with your head stuffed so full that you won't know where to start. Anybody who is a returning person, maybe put some comments in about whether that was your experience over the last little while. And I'm just going to try and watch here too. So let me see. We threw around some ideas when we were starting to plan for this one, Lillian, Marilyn, and I, about what we wanted as a theme. And now I'm not going to tell you the one that we picked, but I'd like you to put a comment in right now about what you think it might be. And you might be able to tell just from some of the posts that we've been putting on, or just you might pick something out of the air and give it a shot. Just put in the comments what you think it might be. And I'm not going to respond to your comments. I'm going to ask you for a few questions first. So we did think, we can do winter, but how boring is that? It's freezing cold, there's snow on the ground, you can't go outside, and it's not a nice uplifting kind of thing. So then we thought, well, we could do spring, but maybe that's not what we really want to do either. And we weren't too excited about color because we did that. So we didn't want to repeat it. So techniques are always popular and people love techniques. Valentine's possibility, but it's such a short window and some people don't do Valentine's. So, there were all kinds of things that went through our mind. But then we thought, and we asked ourselves a couple questions. Oh, Judy guessed Valentine's. And let's see, use it. Anita said, use it. That's a good one. Yes.
We'll keep that for next time.
So yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe we'll get some good ideas for next time.
Give us all kinds of ideas. Here's a couple things that I'd like you to think about. So what's the one thing that we all try to do when we pull out our paper and our ink? And then how do we feel when we nailed it? We've got the most gorgeous design that we have ever come up with. How do you feel? And then how do you want your friend or your family member, whoever you're sending the card or the design or the project to, how do you want them to feel when they get an honest to goodness handmade card in the mail? And then lastly, what word would you like that person to give it? So that what do you want them to think about or say when they tear open that envelope that you may have spent, another 10 hours on, but they tear it open because they're so excited to see what the card is inside. So while you're thinking about that and typing it in, and before I share what we've picked, I have a few questions for you to think about. So some of us may need to go back eons, but think about the very, 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 very first time that you saw a stamp, an ink, and a piece of paper or cardstock put together. And when you saw what someone could do with it, can you remember where you were? And if you can, just maybe give us a heart. So give us a heart in your Facebook heart. Do you remember how you felt? You might remember how you felt. And what did you think you said when you saw it being made? You were probably sitting there with a friend, because I'm going back years now. Parties were all the rage, right? And we all went, and it was a good time to get together. There was always going to be some pretty good snacks. And so you knew that you were going to have an enjoyable evening. So that may have been what the first time that you saw it, but it may not have been either. Do you remember what the project was? You might not. And did you think to yourself, wow, if that person, usually a she, if she could do that, I think I can do that too, because something bit, right? Something bit us where we said, oh, we want to do that. We want to be able to recreate just what they did. So give us a little flavor of it by typing in the comments so that you can share it with everyone else. And maybe we can too. So we'll just watch the comments and see here. So let's see, I'm gonna, no clue. Bonnie says no clue on our theme. There we go. Diana, thank you. Just keep getting better and better.
Laura
You guys
said
go ahead
Stamping styles, stamping styles, Easter.
Oh, Easter. I didn't even mention that, did I? Special. Wow. Melissa says, wow. Love and friendship. That's a wonderful thing, Catherine. Inspired. Happy, blessed, amazing. Oh, great. Too many questions. Who said that? Diana? Yeah. Sorry, Diana. That's me. You know, I'm asking all kinds of questions. I really want you to get involved in there. So amazing, confused, overwhelming, but fun. Oh, Patty, first time confused, maybe overwhelming. I don't have to be an artist to create something wonderful. That is a great comment, Kathleen.
Great comment, Kathleen.
Simple, get it. Yeah, those are great. So if you think about those things, we are inspired. And so I saw that word come up. Time to stamp, Betty says. So as you were thinking about that, ladies, did anyone get close to what our theme was? Lillian or Marilyn?
No, I didn't see it.
I didn't. Be inspired, perhaps, but not quite.
Maybe, not quite. Well, I'm going to tell you. So it's create something remarkable. Now, here's the bonus question. Where do you think that came from? Well, how do you think that we got that? Because it's a little nebulous, maybe. But when we think about it, they create something remarkable. I can't even talk. Create something remarkable can mean a whole bunch of things. So how do you feel while you're making it, or even while you're thinking about what you're going to make? You feel a certain type of way, right? Usually it's not, oh boy, I have to go into my craft room and I have to make something. It's, oh, I have to go into my craft room. I'm excited about what I'm going to be doing. So it makes you feel really excited. And how do you think other people feel when they receive that handmade card? They probably feel really special, maybe even remarkable. So we have a real gift, the people who create handmade things, and we do it through stamping, paper crafting, whatever you want to call it. We have a gift to share with others and create and bring happiness to ourselves. And it's especially important at this time in our world and in our life that we do that. So I think maybe that's what we were thinking when we were thinking about create something remarkable. And again, remember, there's bonus points if you tell us where you think that came from. Let's see. We've got all kinds of great comments. So just while we're talking about that, what's the one? This is a big question too. So here's another question I'm going to throw at you. What is the one thing when you create a card, or when you see a card being made, or you receive a card, what's the one thing about it for you personally, and it may be different from person to person, what's the one thing that you feel, you look at it and you say, oh, that's remarkable? Is it that technique that it has? Is it an embellishment that it has? Does it have a ton of layers? Are there dies? Is it a fun fold? Is it got a technique? There are so many different things, so many different ways that we can do what we do. So we're really curious about what is the one thing for you personally when you see a card that somebody sent you, and you've got two cards in your hand and you say, this one is really special, but this one is really remarkable. What about it is so remarkable? So we're interested in that. And then while you're thinking about that, we're going to do introductions. So the two ladies that you see on the screen with me, I've gotten to know over several years now, but lately a lot better. So we are Stampin' Sisters. We are all part of Karen Duke's Divas, and Karen is or was watching tonight, so I think she's probably still watching. So we are lucky that we are all part of Karen's team because we were able to meet, and we would not have met. I doubt very much we would
I
have
doubt
met
it.
otherwise,
Yeah.
especially considering that I live down south. And so I think maybe we were separated at birth. I think that's probably what it was, the three of us. We have between us over 75 years of stamping experience. So that's pretty good. None of us look a day over 25. So that's pretty good too. So we've collectively been Stampin' Up! Demonstrators for over 50 years. And again, I think that's something remarkable. Having started with Stampin' Up! When they first came into Canada or a couple of years after, we love what we do and we share what we love, which is part of the mission statement for Stampin' Up! So how about we talk a little bit about ourselves and go ahead and put in the comments, answer those 5,000 questions that I asked you while we're talking about ourselves. And how about we get Lillian to start?
Well, hi, I'm Lillian, and I am from Spruce Grove, Alberta, but I haven't always lived here. I grew up at the West Coast, south and west, just right on the US border, right next to the Pacific Ocean. So I came from the ocean to the prairies, and everyone thinks I'm crazy, but I've actually really enjoyed the move. I grew up on a farm there, and I did a fair amount of traveling and teaching throughout BC and traveled through other parts of the world. And then I moved to Edmonton, and I taught here for several years, met my husband, and have stayed here. I have 2 children and 4 grandchildren. One family lives in the Netherlands now, so they're a little far away and we can't see them during COVID, but thank goodness for technology. And I've always loved to craft. I've always liked to work with my hands, and when you work with your hands, you can't eat quite as much, right? So that's always a good thing as well. And I got into stamping through actually a group of people at work decided to go to a stamping class, and I joined them, and I've been hooked ever since. And now when I'm in a grumpy mood, my husband will say, go make a card. So he knows it's my happy place. So I became a demonstrator just because the deal was too good to pass up, and I was never going to do anything else. And it's all been that was almost 16 years ago, and here I am still having fun. So that's me. And yeah.
Thank you. Marilyn.
Okay. I'm Marilyn, as you know. I have lived in Alberta all my life. Grew up on a farm west of here. So I haven't moved very far from home, and I love it. Mainly because family's around here. Although I do have a couple brothers who tend to hang out on Vancouver Island, so I get to go out there once in a while. But I have also enjoyed crafting all my life. I went to high school with Karen Duke, so we have been friends forever. More years than Joanne was adding up for us three. And Karen has always taught some amazing crafts, some remarkable crafts, and I've been part of those. So, of course, when she stepped into the Stampin' Up! World, I was just right there with her. And my most amazing thing still is the heat embossing. I can remember doing that for pictures that we always gave of the kids for school pictures and whatever. So it's a great thing that's still around. I have a son and a daughter. Our son and his family live here in Spruce Grove, and our daughter and her family in Edmonton. So we're surrounded by 5 grandkids when we can be. That's been kind of hard during COVID. But like Lillian, I'm thankful for technology because every once in a while we get a little video or we get to do a Zoom or a FaceTime with them. So that's really special. I became a demonstrator when our daughter lived in Sherwood Park and she was too far away to share the colors with. So it was a great deal that Stampin' Up! Had at the time. That if you joined, you got a whole set of 10 or 12, whatever it was at the time, ink pads. And I just never looked back. I started when I was still working full time. And of course, when I retired, it just became more and more of a hobby. And kind of like Lillian, it's kind of become my happy place here at the table. And I get to craft and create, and have started doing the Facebook Lives, as some of you know, and really enjoy sharing with other people and the community that we've built across Canada virtually with it. So I became a demonstrator 13 years ago in September, and probably will hang on as long as these wrists and hands will let me. So really enjoying it. So thanks, Joanne.
Great. Thank you, Marilyn. So I'll pull up the rear here. So I live just outside of Red Deer, Alberta, and I live on a farm. So that's interesting that the three of us all have that in common, which, you know, we probably never shared that before. I don't think we knew that about each other like years ago. So I'm a crafter from way back too. So calligraphy, jewelry making, stamping. I had some of the really, really old stamps. My mom actually got me started, and there used to be a stamp that was a dowel. It was a piece of dowel, and there was a tiny little stamp on one end and a tiny little stamp on the other end. And I don't know if anybody who's watching remembers those or had any of those. And I think they came from the States, but I can't even remember. And you know, I bet I still have one in my stash here because they were really cute. So I owned a stamping and scrapbooking store in the late 90s, and we had Karen Duke come and do classes for us. So that's how I got to know Karen. And everybody loved her classes, just like everybody continues to love her classes. And we often hosted weekend retreats. And our retreats, we would go away, and it would be a Friday night and a Saturday night, I think it was. And the ladies used to bring their Stampin' Up catalogs, which were contraband at that point because they weren't in Canada yet. And so all of us used to be in our pajamas, you know, and looking through and just waiting to get a catalog so we could look through and see what their stuff was. And their catalogs have changed a huge amount now from what they were back then. Everything now is exclusive to Stampin' Up. Then things didn't match quite as much, but what they always had was the color families. And to me, that was probably the best thing about Stampin' Up, is the way that everything coordinated. That's it for me, sort of the be all end all. So Stampin' Up was only in the States, but they came to Canada in 2002. And coincidentally, we were just wrapping up our store at that time. Shelley had Gardner had come to look when they were scoping out Canada. They were visiting some stamp stores, and they came to ours, except I wasn't there that day, so I didn't get to meet her, and I didn't get the free stamp set that she left either. My friend Mary, who is watching here tonight, actually got it. And so when we wound up, I signed up as a demonstrator with Karen, and sort of haven't looked back since. So they had been in Canada just a few months at the time that I became a demonstrator. And I am an accountant by trade. I'm a creative accountant, however, and that's not a bad thing, not a bad definition. I have left that career behind, and I do this full time. And so the last 4 years I've been learning a lot about computers and internet and Facebook and everything like that. So I love the creative process, putting colors together, different elements together, layout and design. That's probably my favorite part about what we do. And I think if we were to ask that question, so now I'm going to ask the question about what it is about creating something remarkable. I'm going to ask Lillian and Marilyn to answer the question as well. But for me, it's the entire layout. It's all the elements coming together on a card. And you know, we asked this question about stamping styles, and it's not necessarily my style, but I am a fairly clean kind of stamper. I don't have a lot of stuff on mine, but I do love that look. But for me, what makes it remarkable is that it is clean, and it has at least one element that has some kind of color on it, even if it's a black and white. That's color to me. So that's mine. That's what remarkable is. So how about we start with Marilyn this time?
Remarkable for me is being able to match all these colors that we have, and putting them together, like you say, seeing it all come together. It's so great to have choices, to be able to look at something or look at somebody else's, as we do lots of casing, and say, oh, I like that, but I'd like to put just this over here instead, or this over here. I too like the clean and not overhang, not, it's got to be straight. And I think that's part of the accounting background in my world as well, that things have to be exact. They don't work well otherwise. But I'm learning to accept others that come to my classes. If they don't want to do what I've designed, that's fine. It's your card, do what you like. Like, here's the stuff, go for it. And just be sure and share it, whether it's online or not. So for me, remarkable is seeing the finished product and giving it to someone and having them either phone you or email you or text you and say, wow, that was a great card. And then I'm sitting there going, okay, which one did I use? Because we do lots of, we do. And I do send out lots of cards, and I keep doing it. So yeah, so that's remarkable for me. Your turn, Lillian.
Well, I am not an accountant. In fact, I was always in remedial math. So that brings a different thing. And sometimes I like straight, but sometimes I like to put things off center a little bit or a little bit twisted. And my daughter will come and straighten it for me. But that way I know that it doesn't matter if it's crooked. So anyway, what makes it wow or remarkable? I think it's the combination of color and design, and Stampin' Up! Enables you to be successful that way. So whether it's a scrapbook page or a card or a 3D item, it's the combination of the colors, which I tend to have a little trouble with on my own, but because they help you do that, it works together. And space, I like space on the project as well. Doesn't have to be filled right up, but yeah, I think that's what is remarkable to me.
Thank you. So yes, be sure and put in for you that remarkable. Remember to answer the question. And I should have been a teacher. Lillian was the teacher, but I probably should have been a teacher because I like to hold people accountable. So let's tell you a little bit about the day tomorrow, because I know, especially if you have never been before, you're a bit, you wonder how this is going to play out. So we want the staycation to feel like you're right there with us. So grab your coffee or tea, put in tipple a little bit if you want. Whatever is going to make you happy for the rest of the day. Be in your pajamas all day if you want or not. What you're going to do tomorrow is at 9 o'clock in this, where exactly you are right now. I will be the first one. I'll come with a Facebook Live, and it will be one of our projects. And every hour on the hour, except for noon, we will do the same thing. So each one of us will present 2 times, and we'll present a project, and we do not expect you, in fact, we don't want you to stamp along with us. So we haven't provided any measurements or cutting or told you any stamps to have. And what we want to do is we are going to show you a design, and we are going to walk you through the entire design, the card or whatever it is that we're making. And then we're going to show you a bunch of alternatives. And sometimes that's almost the best. Our card that we make, or our design that we make, will probably focus on something that is in the current JJ21 catalog mini. I'm getting used to saying that. This one right here. But we show you all kinds of different ideas using other things, so that if you don't have what we have, no big deal. You substitute whatever you have. If you don't have the colors we have, use what you have. If you don't have the stamps we have, use the stamps that you do have, because this is about you creating something that makes you happy using stuff that you already own. So that's the big part of the day. So we want you to set up your phone, your computer, your tablet, wherever is comfy. It could be in your craft room, maybe not. Could be on the couch, could be at the dining room table, whatever works for you. And we will, whoever's presenting, the other 2 will be monitoring comments. So if you have questions about what we've just done, or say I'm first and you have a question, you didn't get what I said or whatever, ask your question, and Lillian or Marilyn will try and answer it. And if they can't because they don't know, because it's my project, then I will answer the question later. So a thing about comments. One of the things when people were saying to the post, where are you from and things like that. We all responded, but we won't be doing that tomorrow. In fact, you may not get a response to your comment, and that's not necessarily because we don't want to, but Facebook has this thing, and some of you may not know, but if you tend to answer every single comment and like it, then they think that there's something not quite right, and we could get our wrists slapped a little bit. So we don't want to. Last time, I think I said we could go to Facebook jail, and I think that may have made some people feel like, you know, we were going to be in trouble, but they call it Facebook jail, and it means you're shut down for a little bit of time. But what it means is you will get comments. You may not get a comment for every single one. Okay, so we will all read them though. That's one thing I want you to know, is that we do read every single comment. Each one of us does. And if we feel we need to respond or we want to respond, we will. We just really are excited that you are going to take part through commenting. Let's see, then every quarter of the hour starting at 9:45. So the first project starts at 9, will probably be half an hour, 40 minutes or whatever. At 9:45, unless one of us starts gabbing a little bit too long, we shouldn't go past 9:45. And at 9:45, 10:45, 11:45, we will post the written tutorial for you so that you can click on it and you can download it. And then you can print it off. Now, if you're super excited by a project and you want to start crafting right away, go for it. But we will be starting the next project on the hour. So at 10 o'clock for the first one. Let's see what else. What we would love you to do is, when you make something using whatever the project is, we have a challenge. So every single one of our projects, we will have a challenge. And what that means is, make your card, make your design, whatever it is, take a picture of it and put it into the challenge post. And when you do, your name will be entered into a random draw. And you'll have until next Saturday. So there's no rush. You, at your leisure, sometime in the next week, post your picture of the design that you made using the inspiration from our project. And you could win a nice little prize from us, which we will announce next Sunday. So, and we're going to give you all this information again. We just want to tell you tonight how it works. Okay. We also have some tip videos. So we're going to sprinkle them throughout the day. Each one of us has a tip video on something. So you will find that out tomorrow. That'll be a little bit of a surprise. And that will just be posted as well. And you can take a peek at it tomorrow. You can take a peek sometime during the week. And what's great about the Facebook Live and the group is that as long as Facebook is around, this group is around, or as long as Marilyn's around, I guess, because this is under Marilyn's Facebook. And I don't think she's going anywhere, like she just said. So you can go back as often as you want, many times, and look at that video over and over again if you want. Slow it down, stop it, do whatever. Take out your downloaded written tutorial and go along. Make notes if you want. This is your class, really, to see over and over again. What else? Now, if you can't watch us live, so if you have something else on tomorrow, or it's just too long of a day and you're exhausted, don't worry, because as I said, you can come back to it at any time. But also, the middle of next week, what we're going to do is take all of the lives that we do tomorrow, and we are going to upload those to YouTube. And then next week, your demo, so the demo that you signed up with, will send you an email that has all of the links to the videos as well as the PDFs attached. So they're all going to come to you that way as well. So, you know, there's no way that you have to get worried about if you can't attend everything tomorrow. Okay, you're going to get it. Okay, so techie stuff. Marilyn's our techie person. I'm not your techie person. So she's just gonna, I don't know that there's all that much, but maybe a few things, Marilyn?
I'm going to try to keep it all running smoothly. I have uploaded a couple short videos already for you to try to make it easier for you to find where things are, especially with the challenge posts that Joanne just talked about. Hopefully they make sense, especially when you start using them. If not, you can reach out to me and I'll certainly help you. We will be archiving the group a couple weeks down the road that you will not be able to make comments to, but you can still go back to, just so you're aware of that. And there may be times when we will shut off comments to certain posts that are already on there. And that's mainly because we can't keep up with it or whatever, and it has no relevance to what's happening after the event, sort of thing. So there's different, I know I work on a laptop, an iPad, and an iPhone, mainly the laptop. I know some of you do not have all three of them or two of them or whatever, but just don't get frustrated with it. Contact us if it's not working and let us know, and we'll try to help you through it, because we've all struggled with some of those things, as as Lillian and Joanne will let you know. So please, we want you to enjoy for sure.
Okay, thank you. So you might think that, how can you have a retreat when you guys don't do any stamping? Well, we remedied that. The very first one, you guys didn't do stamping, but the second one, and now this one, and probably going forward, we've wiggled a little bit of room in there for some stamping. So I'm going to let Lillian tell you about our secret stamping.
Yes, this was so much fun. We started it last time, and secret stamping is exactly what the name says. It's a secret. So you have no idea what you're making, but it is the one time during the day where you're going to create along with us. So we have posted already clue number one. So it's a secret, but there are going to be clues that unlock that secret. And clue number one is to gather your supplies. So hopefully you have seen that. And I know many of you have already commented and that you've gathered your supplies. If you haven't, if you do watch the little video, Marilyn was talking about where to find things, but on my computer, where I went on the Facebook page, is I clicked on the right-hand side, there was something called popular topics in the posts, and then there was a heading secret stamping, and I clicked on that, and that's where you will find clue number one. All right. On my phone, if I look across the top of the Facebook page, I clicked on the word topics and found it there. And those of you who know me know this is phenomenal, that I even know this. On the iPad, if you're on the Facebook page, there's a little search icon, looks like a magnifying glass. Click on that and type in secret stamping, and that's how I found it there. So that's where you're going to find it. And Marilyn's laughing there.
That's good, because I didn't try those things.
I spent some time today trying to make sure I could tell you that. So what's going to happen at 12:15 is I will come on, and you're going to have your supplies in front of you. And if I don't think you'll get mixed up with measurements, but if you do, even put a little label, this is the whatever size piece, just so you know, and use your own stamps, and you're going to have some designer paper and all of that. And we're going to create a card together. So then tomorrow I will give you clue number two. And once everyone's done that, then I'll give you clue number three, and gradually you'll work your way through to the finish when the secret is revealed. The one thing I forgot to add to the list, and I forgot it last time too, but I guess, is you do need something to score with. So either your paper trimmer or a simply scored. We do have to make a couple of fold lines. So you add that to your list of supplies. And I just know it's a lot of fun. And when I talk about it, I get all antsy in my seat, because it's fun and exciting. But when we're finished, each one of us has something totally different but the same. So you can tell I kind of like it a lot. But anyway, that's my synopsis of secret stamping.
Awesome.
Thank you, Lillian. Now, everybody, can't you just imagine Lillian as a little tiny person sitting in her kindergarten chair, and she gets all antsy, and then she just wants to do. I can just see that, just the way she's moving around in her chair right now.
I have fallen off a chair too.
So this is the part of the, yes, I believe that. Okay, so this is the part of the evening where you get to ask us questions. You can put us on the hot seat. Don't make it too hot.
No.
And if you have a specific question for a person, say who you'd like the answer. But otherwise, just ask the question, and we'll all try and answer it. And I do have a couple questions that I've seen in the comments. And so I'm just going to answer the ones that I know. So Nancy asked which store. So I mentioned that I had a store in Red Deer. It was called Personal Imprints, and it was a scrapbooking and stamping store. And we had a lot of fun there. We were open about 5 years. Christine started many years ago with DOTS. Was that dozens of terrific stamps? Is that what that stood for? Does anybody remember? D-O-T, capital D, capital O, capital T, capital S. That for some reason rings a bell for me, but I could be wrong. Karen, you might know, or if Pam's watching, she might know. Mary, you might know too. Okay. Let me see. Were there any other questions? Okay. You guys see any questions coming up?
No, I didn't. I saw those two, but I didn't.
I'm seeing a couple of guesses of where we got our theme from. Maybe a
Oh,
quote or something.
okay. Anything else? Okay, well, I'm going to ask the first question. Okay, and last time I did this, I threw the question out and Marilyn and Lillian didn't know what the question was that I was going to ask. This time I did give them a hint so that they're not put on the spot. But my question was for both of them, what is the worst card that you ever made? And who wants to go first? Whoever.
I still
Marilyn,
can't.
how about you? Because oh, Lillian, you want to go? Sure.
Doesn't matter.
I still can't remember. I know you gave us the question, and I couldn't say. I obviously didn't keep it if it was a worst card. Some of them aren't as great as others. When I finish with them, I think, oh well, I'll use it somewhere. But probably would be one that I didn't cut straight to begin with, and I kept cutting and it cut. That old story about if it doesn't fit, cut it again, except you want it longer, that kind of thing. And ended up having like a 3x3 card instead of a 5x6 kind of thing. So sorry, Joanne, I just have no answer, no recollection. So on to
You must
Lillian.
make just beautiful cards all the time if you don't remember. It doesn't stick in your mind is a bad thing.
I will remember for next time,
Okay.
then I'll tell you.
And I'll ask a different question next time.
Yeah, but I'll still tell
Lillian.
Well, I love Marilyn's
Okay.
positive outlook. She just remembers the good stuff. That's good. I think the worst card I ever made, or the one that came to mind when Joanne asked, was my mother-in-law was Irish, and I tried to make her a St. Patrick's Day card one time, but I was a pretty new at this, and Pinterest wasn't around, and I used green cardstock, green ink, everything green, and it looked horrible. But anyway, she thanked me graciously, and away we went. But I have learned since to add a little contrast and maybe some layers and some things like that. But
Awesome.
how about you,
I
Joanne?
think that's good. We all start somewhere. So my worst card was a collage card. Now, for those of you who are new to stamping out there, you might not even know what collage is. How many people, give me a thumbs up maybe if you like collage? I have to say it's taken me a while to sort of get like collage, but my very first time was eons ago. It was a calligraphy class that we were taking, and it was making a collage. Rhonda, you might have been in it. Mary, you might have been in the class as well. And it was a Valentine's card, and I put every single thing I could put onto that card. So it probably weighed about 12 pounds by the time I was done. And it had fancy paper, and it had embellishments, and it had a stamp, or it probably had stickers too. It probably had a ribbon because I like ribbon. And it was awful. It was god awful, really. But I just know that I've learned, just like Lillian, I have learned a lot about my style. And if I do collage now, I try and do it with a little bit more finesse than I did that very first time. So we all start somewhere. So if you are just starting, and it's what's great about the people on this stamping staycation, we asked you how many years you've been stamping, and our answers were they ran the gamut. So we had people that have just started, like, just in the last couple months. We have people started in the last year, a couple years, all the way up to 30 plus years. So we have a lot of people that have lots of experience, and a lot of people that just want to learn. So I want to just have you know that no question is a stupid question. None.
Right.
So you can ask whatever you want from us. You can ask other people whatever you want. One of the best things, if you're new to stamping and card making or paper crafting, is this community of crafters are some of the most generous and giving people that you are ever going to meet. So we all share, everybody shares their ideas and ways to be successful. Tips that we've learned along the way, the hard way. So don't be afraid to ask whatever question. If you have a question, and don't think that it's stupid. And if it's been said a couple times and you didn't get it, oh well, we'll just try and explain it in a way that makes a little bit more sense. Okay, so please don't think that you have a question and you're the only one out there and people are going to laugh, because we're not. No one is going to laugh. Okay, are we getting any questions? Oh, Laura, you love collage. Good for you.
Lillian, there was a question for you.
We'll learn.
Didn't see it then, Marilyn. Sorry.
Lillian, please tell us again where to get the secret clue in the morning.
Oh, okay. It's there right now, actually. So you can see it. Better look at my notes. If you're on a computer, on my computer, at least on the Facebook page on the side, they have some of the gobbledygook stuff over there. There's a heading called post. You might have to scroll down a little bit. And then under post, you'll see one heading that says secret stamping. And if you click on there.
Also, sorry, Lillian, before you go from there, while you're on that post, it's topic posts, and that's where you'll find challenges. You'll also find the tip videos, like they're all kind of, it's like folders that they're going to be put into. So for everything, not just the staycation one. So sorry.
Yeah, so they're all, so they're lumped together so you can find them more easily. And you can find that same information if you're on your phone on this particular Facebook page. Across the top, at least on my phone, towards the right-hand side, there's a heading called topics. And if you click on that, then you should be able to see, again, those folders or those headings. And on my iPad, at the top, I looked for the little magnifying glass and clicked on that, and then typed in secret stamping, and that's where I found it.
I was just trying to go here to bring it up just to show you what it looks like. But I can't seem to get out of our live here right now. So yeah, here's the real non-technical person who had a lot of problems. Kelly is asking, can we use older stamp sets or do they have to be current? Whatever you want, Kelly, whatever you have. It could be the very first stamp that you ever got 50 years ago, whatever you have and what you love. That's what we want to see. They do not need to be Stampin' Up. They're just whatever you want to use. So don't feel that you are limited. Okay. Anything else?
Joanne.
Questions about us? Yes.
Pam Rutherford answered your DOTS as dozens of terrific stamps.
Oh, it is. I have no idea where I dragged that out of.
I don't know.
How long were they around? Pam, do you know Pam Rutherford? Like, and who was it? Christine, you said that you actually started with them. I don't think they're around now. Was that something like Stampin' Up? Was it where you purchased through a catalog or something like that? I can't remember. And were they sort of cute and whimsical ones? I can't remember, but Rhonda. Now, Rhonda, for those who know Rhonda here, she really, 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 really loves purple. No, not at all. And she says she likes collage even less than that. So Pam doesn't know. Well, we'll maybe see if there's a trivia for us to actually go in and see if we can find out about DOTS. So, okay. Anything else? Any other questions? No, we'll give it just a moment here. So we are excited. There's a couple things that you want to do tonight before you go to bed. And if there's more questions come in, Marilyn or Lillian will take a look while I'm talking. You want to plug in whatever devices you're going to use. Marilyn, sorry.
Well, there is a question. What is your favorite technique? Sorry, as I'm scrolling through, I'll just.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then, Marilyn.
My favorite technique, as I mentioned before, is the heat embossing. And I did see a comment on here about somebody who doesn't like it at all. And I'm going, oh, I wonder why. Maybe I can help. How
Yes,
can I
that
show
was
you how
Melissa,
to
I
do
think. Melissa, we got to change your mind about that.
it? Yeah, it, like I say, it's still a wow. And to see a new stamper see it, like someone who's never seen it before, it's like, oh, how do you do that? I want to do it. Yeah, it's, so that is my favorite technique. I like to try all of them. I keep going through Pinterest or the Facebook groups or whatever and come across, okay, I'm going to try that one. I'm going to try that one. Then I have to remember where I saved them so I can try them. But yeah, it's an ongoing,
That's always amazing.
yeah, for sure.
Lillian?
Well, I really like all the techniques. I love the dry embossing where you run it through the stamp and cut and emboss machine and get a design. But I also love just adding that extra little bit of embellishment. It's not a technique, but that's what I like to do, like that rhinestone or that piece of ribbon or something like that. How about you, Joanne?
Just the finishing touches. Mine probably is watercolor, very closely aligned with embossing though, both types of embossing. So dry, like you said, Lillian, and heat embossing, like you said, Marilyn. So I do like techniques, but again, they're not super, super fussy ones. So I guess that's a question for everybody out there. What's your favorite technique? We know what, you seem to be telling us what your least favorite is. So tell us a little bit about what your most favorite is.
One other
Can't figure it
question.
out. Have all the tools in every order. Oh well, Melissa, we'll get you covered for sure.
Joanne, another
yes,
one. I see clue 1 for secret stamping, but not clue 2. Lillian, if you want to just explain that again for.
Okay, so I won't show you clue 2 until 12:15 tomorrow. And that's when you'll get the rest of the clues. The only clue you're going to get right now is clue 1. And then you might say, well, what about if I'm not able to watch tomorrow? Don't worry, we're going to record it all and I will compile the clues afterwards and post that. But during the time, you're only going to get one clue at a time until you've completed that clue. So for right now, you're only going to find clue 1.
Clue 1. Yeah.
It's sort of like a scavenger hunt that you start one night, but you have to finish it the next day.
Yes. And for those of you who haven't done it before, it's nothing that is difficult. We're going to give you every single step in the process, and there's not going to be, like we're talking techniques right now, there's not a lot of techniques in here. So it is fairly straightforward. So don't worry, just so come along and have some fun.
Yeah, have some fun.
If you don't get it all done right at the time, you can always do it later. You can go back to that video and you can walk through the steps. You can just come and watch if you want, but that's not nearly as much fun. So come and just try.
It was so much fun last time because everybody that did it and then posted their pictures and then they inspired everybody else like, oh yeah. So it was just, well, and that's what happens with all the projects actually, is that you inspire everybody else as well when you share what you do. So it's really neat.
Including us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, and as we're creating what we're creating tomorrow, if you have an idea to throw in there like, oh yeah, well I could add this or I would add that to it, then feel free so that everyone else, everyone else can benefit from what you might do. So we're seeing a few people saying what they are doing for techniques. Oh, Anita loves everything. Anita, you do like techniques and you're good at them too.
Yes.
So Marilyn, both types of embossing, a little wow. Stamp and blends you struggle with a bit, Nancy. They do take a little bit to get used to, but once you get used to them, they really are wonderful to play with. And you have to have the right paper. So the paper in Stamp and Blends really does make the difference. You don't want watercolor paper, definitely. And I think I did a blog post on this quite a while ago now, but you want, we recommend that everybody uses the thick Whisper White is probably the best. We don't have thick Whisper White anymore, but we have thick basic white. And it really is the best. And you want to use Memento to stamp with. And I think that we have a little bit of blends showing up a little bit tomorrow. So we'll talk a little bit about it when we're going through the projects too, I think. Anything else here? Watercolor for Rhonda.
Charlotte says
Sorry?
online, it says DOTS was the beginning of Close to My Heart.
Oh, was it? Look at that.
Okay.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Great research.
We
Oh,
don't have
Sharon, you used heat embossing with your kindergarten class,
and love
and
to
you
see.
love to see their faces. Yes,
Yes.
they wouldn't hold back at all, would they? They would
Oh,
really ooh and ah. Oh,
any kind of kids
and the
class
new
is an
blending brush.
awesome class.
Oh, punches for Laura. Coloring with the blends brings out the child in me. That's a good way to put it, Faye. Yeah, you know, when I was a kid, now I bet a lot of you can remember this. So I'm originally from, I didn't say this in my intro, but I'm originally from Ontario, from Thunder Bay, and we call them camps there, not cottages. We used to go out to camp, and I didn't have that big huge super box that had the sharpener in it, but I had a fairly big box of Crayola crayons, and we would color and color and color and color and color. We would hope for rain sometimes so that we could sit and color. Now, how many of you did that? And how many of you had the Crayola? How many had, like, wasn't there one that was like 128 different colors? I didn't have that. I think I might have had 64. No, I didn't have that. I don't think I had that many. I don't even remember now. If we had 8, we considered ourselves to be lucky. So, but I'll bet that some of you remember that. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. So I started to say, yes, make sure that you have your devices charged up for tomorrow, whatever you're going to use, because there are breaks throughout the day, and you can take a bio break and you'll have a snack. You're going to be able to have lunch, but we do come every hour, as I said, on the hour. And so you're going to want to be there, hopefully, so that you can partake and make comments. We will start at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So Alberta time. So if you are in Ontario or if you're in BC, just make that adjustment for Pacific and Central and Eastern time. We have a schedule that is already in the post that you can go take a look at, but it's really pretty straightforward. Every hour on the hour, and then whoever is finishing up, the next person will start on the hour. And the only time that it is a little bit different from that is when we do the secret stamping, and that's at, as Lillian said, 12:15. So let's see, we won't be posting, I said, throughout the day. So have your coffee ready. Put the do not disturb sign out so that your family knows not to interrupt you while you are having some educational learning and fun. And we will see you tomorrow. So unless I'll take one more look here and see if Laurentian pencil crayons, I remember those. Yes, Carolyn, I liked those. Yeah, see, you guys, you remember that. Crayons. 64, but you had the sharpener. Oh, I'm jealous, Betty. You were a pencil crayon kid, Rhonda. See, we all come by this passion. I'm going to use that word. It's not, it's an affectionate pastime, hobby that we have. And we all come by it naturally, right? We were all kids that really had the coloring pencils, and we didn't call them colored pencils. That's the hoity-toity way to say it now. We had
pencil crayons.
Colored pencils. Pencil crayons. That's what
pencil crayons.
and crayons. So we're just getting a little bit older and doing the exact same thing.
Oh, Anita,
okay. I think that we are done.
Anita has one more question. She's asking what our personal styles are.
Oh, okay.
Did
I say
now, or do we wait till tomorrow?
Oh, do we wait? Should we? I think maybe we should make you guys wait, because we've sort of given you, a little bit of insight on what for us is something remarkable. And I think that Lillian, I think Nita, you actually were the one who made the comment answering the question in the post. And Lillian sort of said, well, maybe we'll see if it changes, if your mind changes between tonight and tomorrow. Should we tell them or not, ladies?
I think wait.
Yeah, I think we can wait.
Oh, Lillian's a hardcore, isn't she? So, okay, so we are excited again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, bright and cheery. And you don't have to be bright and cheery. You can be grumpy and have your cup of coffee, but we will be here, and we're looking forward to it. So, Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight, and have a good A good sleep. See you tomorrow.